weak, clueless, or needy. They are someone who has walked through a mess and came out with a better understanding of people than the narcissist will ever have. When you betray someone like that, you are not just breaking trust, you are starting a big change. It is the moment when the person who carried all the emotional heavy lifting finally puts it down, stands up tall, and sees the narcissist clearly. And that clear sight is the narcissist's end. Nothing scares them more than someone who stops playing their game, someone who refuses to be used, and someone who understands their mask better than they do. The narcissist's betrayal wakes up the super empath's clear thinking and ends
Hello,
the fake
Casey, the
reality.
one.
For a long time, the super empath acts from a place of honesty, loyalty, and deep emotional smarts.
Thank you for hitting the like button.
Weakness. They give kindness not because they are weak, but because they understand people at a deep gut level. This makes
Y'all come on in. Happy Wednesday. Come on in. Let's talk about these narcs today, okay? Because the worst thing that the narcissist can do, y'all, I've been really doing a deep dive and getting into back to my content, the content that I love. But one of the biggest things about the narcissist is that they underestimate the empath. And especially, I'm doing good. I'm feeling good today. It's a beautiful day, especially the super empath. The super empath is weak, but they are not weak. They're just kind. You know what I'm saying? It is the craziest thing. They really think that, because the narcissist really, everything they do really is based on manipulation. They cannot have genuine relationships. And so when they're dealing with the super empath, they just think they're manipulating them and they're getting their way and they can have what they want. They think that they're naive and they actually really think that they're weak, but we are not like that at all. Most of the time we see the narcissist, we just have um, compassion and want that narcissist to be a better person. You know what I'm saying? It's really all about love. I don't know what is going on with my voice. But yeah, the narcissist, I mean, it's really sad. It's really sad how when they meet a super empath, they really think that that person is like the other people that they've met. It's the craziest time. I know we're not eating today. And it's not that. Matter of fact, the narcissist is getting ready to really, when he meets a super empath, he's getting ready to be hurt real bad. Real bad. And as I listen to Dr. Romani, for the love of horror, thank you, boo. Happy Wednesday. We talking about these terrible narcissists, girl, and when they learn that their manipulation and their stonewalling and their silence, they love to go silent. When all of their manipulation doesn't work anymore, they end up hurt real bad. What's up, Nikki? They end up hurt, super hurt. And it's a good thing. What's up, fitness gang? Good morning. Good morning. And it's a good thing. It really is because I'm telling you, the pain is good. That's the only thing that's going to change them anyway. Well, I shouldn't even use that word. Let's not use that word change when we talk about narcissists. Let's not use that word because when they get to fighting us against the super empath, really, and they reach a level of, what do you call it? Narcissistic mortification where they feel like they're going to die. Literally, because their mask is fractured and just they all psychologically, they can't get their mind together because the only thing they ever had really was the ego, and it's not real. The ego makes them think that they are a certain type of person, but it's not a real thing. It's fake. So when they lose the empathic person in their life, that person, the mask, and when they leave, they are hurt. You know what I'm saying? They are hurt. This phenomenon, y'all, people need to really, really get into it. You know what I'm saying? Especially like what we got going on in politics. You know what I'm saying? I listened to this man this morning talk about how grave that man's narcissism is. And I'm like, happy birthday, boo. How great the narcissism is. And a lot of people have been hanging out with him and doing business deals with him and going to his parties and you know and the man was really talking about his sexuality because they are they bisexual real bad, and they were saying that our what's called is gay. Like somebody was asking say is when people get dementia, do they get real gay? But what happens is with the narcissism and you getting older and the dementia, he can't really hide it no more. You know what I'm saying? These people are really, really mentally ill. They are really, really mentally ill. And I was telling Chat, me and Chat GPT were talking today. I was talking to my chat and I was telling him, I said I was listening to Carl Jung and I said I was learning from Carl Jung all of the psychological terminology for behaviors of narcissists, but he did not teach me. Carl Jung did not teach me what a narcissist is. No, he did not. And he is not teaching me the things that narcissists do because I'm an empath. I've always been an empath. So I've always had narcissists around me. They've always been in my life. They are very, I'm telling you, and when I told Chad, what's up, Monique? Good morning, boo. Still in a lot of pain from surgery. Good morning. When I told Chad this morning, I said, it's just, I can't use all the terminologies because I'm not a psychologist. But everything that Carl Jung talked about in the video that I listened to this morning, was everything that I had experienced. And even when he talking about the empath, when we get to the place that we tired of dealing with the goddamn narcissist, like when we tired, you see what I'm saying? When we won't, and this is what I want to focus on today, when we won't uphold their mask anymore, we know that they're not real and we know that they are fragile. We do know that. We know that they're not superhuman. We know that they are not, we know all of this shit subconscious wise, but we don't speak on it. You know what I'm saying? And when they go through their phases of love bombing and idealizing and then putting you down and degrading you and then eventually leaving you, all this the same damn cycle that they do while we're watching them do that, we know that they are fragile and they're not the person that they pretend to be. We know that. God bless you, Monique. I hope Yeshua heals your health. Yeah, we know that until the day that we get tired. So when Carl Jung was talking, I was like, I done this shit plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? I have done that. And so people say, well, why if you've been in a dynamic with a narcissist, one, because it's a painful situation. Why would you do it again? Well, they don't show up in your life as damn uh monsters. They show up in your life as angels. They give you a whole lot of validation, but I will tell you this one thing that I do remember that Carl Jung said. If it feels too good, if they give you too much attention, too much validation, too much praise and all of that, that is a red flag. Get the fuck out. Get out of it. If your emotions initially, when you're dealing with somebody and you meet that person and this shit is too intense, that's a foul play. You got to pay attention. So now in my life, and as I talk to other people with their narcissists, I just try to encourage people, wherever you are on your journey, because I've even met some folks who say they're going to stay with their narcissist, that they're not going to divorce or not going to separate. They know that they are narcissists, but they decide to stay. Now I don't know what that is. Carl Jung, I've never heard Carl Jung talk about that. I've never heard him say, out of all the probably hundreds of thousands of people that he's talked to, and counseled and all that, I've never heard him say that one of those people said that they were gonna stay with their narcissist, but I've heard people tell me that. People have told me that. And I really don't in from my point of view and from what I've experienced, it never happened that way for me. It's just, and Carl Jung explained it so good. There is a line. There's a line. The narcissist does not know where that line is, nor can they know. Their psyche is so fractured and messed up. They don't know where that line is, and it just happens. One day you're just ready to stop upholding the mask. You're ready to walk away and be completely done. And Carl Jung says energetically, they know when that happens, they feel it because they are literally being upheld by the empath person in their life. I mean, they don't have like, it's fucked up, really. It's a bad situation. I remember with my first husband, oh my God. It was so deep. And other people that I have talked to, how when you finally see this mask or this fake person, this person that's pretending, when they finally collapse, when you see it, they can become very suicidal, or they can go the other way and be very dangerous, where they could be homicidal too. So they could be one or the other. But the day that they lose their super empath is a terrible day. And it always happens. It always happens. You know what I'm saying? That's why the people that say that they don't leave their narcissists, I don't know what they are. But I don't know what they are. I don't really, I got to look and find out what that is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that is when you decide that you're going to stay with your toxic person and you just live like that. I don't know. I know that I've listened to Dr. Romani, and she's talked about if you stay with a narcissist too long, you become one. They can infect you. So I don't know if these people are narcissists themselves or they've betrayed themselves, but I know what? I know what a super empath do. They stop it. They stop that dynamic. It always, let me tell you something. Tell your friend, if you know your friend is a super empath and with a narcissist or whatever, just tell them one of these fucking days they're gonna wake up and it's gonna be done. It's gonna be permanent. It's gonna be permanent. What's up, Leonora? I'm doing good today. I'm doing good. It's all these gray skies. I don't like gray skies. I like the sunshine, and we've had a gray skies for 3 days here where I live. But yeah, and to watch. I don't know if y'all have ever watched a narcissist collapse, but I absolutely have. It is devastating to watch them. But Carl Jung, he warned. There was a warning there in the video I listened to, and he said sometimes with the super empath. We're just talking this morning. We're just talking this morning. Carl Jung says sometimes with the super empath, um, they get to the point with the narcissist where the narcissist has collapsed and they know that their super empath is gone. And then they come back to pretend that they want to change. And Carl Jung said some empaths are pulled back in. I remember that day that my ex-husband showed up with a dozen of flowers. And he had never given me flowers before. Never. He had never in 23 years bought me a dozen of roses. But I was done though. It was too late. you know. Um, when he showed up with the flowers, there was somebody there with him, almost like that he had a witness that he was trying. But his account, I use that word, or his offenses with me were grave. There were too much. There was too much terribleness on his side in his account. I had watched him too many times not care about me. I watched him too many times not show up for me, not it was just all the things that he had done. And when he showed up with the roses, it was like, but Carl Jung was talking about that this morning on the video, and I said, God knows I've done that. And he says a lot of people don't pass that test. They take them back. When they show it's not real vulnerability. It looks like they're being vulnerable. And it looks like that they are being, like they're being sorry, that they've had a change of mind or their emotion. That's not what they're doing. Carl Jung says what they're doing is trying to get their empath back. They're trying to get their possession back. It's almost like if a vehicle was repossessed and they want to go get their property back. But it's so crazy because I'm not a psychologist. Carl Jung is the psychologist with all the thousands of people that he's counseled. And I swear to God, everything he said on that video, I've done it. Without any counseling or anything, I'd already let go of the church. The church would have kept me in the dynamic. Girl, me and you, mine for 21 years, never even give me a rose, girl, Leonora. The church kind of would have kept me in the dynamic because of the teachings of forgiveness. But this is the thing. When you're dealing as a super empath, it's not that we hate narcissists, because we don't. I don't hate my ex-husband. I don't hate the narcissists that's in my life or that have been in my life. I don't hate them. I just know them. You see what I'm saying? That is the difference. I don't hate them. I just know you. I know you can't change. I know you're not real. You see what I'm saying? So it's the knowing. It's the knowing. But when a narcissist deal with a super empath the way that my husband dealt with me, and then he loses somebody like me, you know, he's gonna, y'all, they really be in bad shape. I'm serious. They have a psychological uh, breakdown that's really intense. Some of them decide to kill themselves because there's nothing there. And it hurts. As a super empath, it does hurt to watch them go through that. It does. But you know at the same time you can't take them back because you don't deserve that. You don't deserve to have a forever person in your life who cannot. And I was getting ready to say who won't show up for you, but I'm not going to say that because I understand, I have the knowledge that can't show up for you in that way. You know what I'm saying? A person who you say you love, but they cannot love. And then for people to say, well, I'm going to stay with mine. What does that mean? I don't understand it. And I don't think Carl Jung understood it either because in all of the videos, and I listened to his teachings, I ain't never heard him talk about an empath staying with a narcissist. I've never. So in that case, if a person decides to do that, I don't know what you are, but you're not a super empath because you wouldn't do that. All who all who he goes through, he will never find someone like this lady. Oh yeah. Most of the time, they will not find, they might find somebody with empathy. And I'm going to tell you, let's talk about that. Let's talk about my ex-husband and who he found, who he ended up with and who he died with because he died early. Um, First of all, before I talk about that, let me just make a statement. Narcissists can be manipulated. They're kind of easy to manipulate if you know what they are. And nowadays in 2026, nowadays, a lot of people know exactly what they are. You see what I'm saying? So you can manipulate them. But they end up with somebody who who's not empathetic, maybe even another narcissist. And boy, it's a whole nother ball game, because after the narcissist loses his super empath, he is so injured. He is so fractured psychologically that it'd be a whole lot of shit going on. And then, they have a lot of shame, and then they carry a lot of fear. Those two things that they carry really, really bad. And so at that point, when they lose their super empath, and they're with somebody, they don't want to lose, because they got to have supply. They have to have somebody with them. They cannot live alone. They cannot live like the way that I do. They can't live like that. Even though my daughter is here, she getting ready to move out, but my daughter came back here because she needed to come back here, not because I wanted her to come back. Like, I can't wait till she leave. I can't wait till she leave, because I love my time. I love my time of self-reflection, and I just don't need to live off of anybody's energy. When I get alone by myself, regenerate in a sense. That's why all the healing takes place for me. But yeah, these people are diabolical, and it's getting hard for them nowadays. Me and my daughter was talking about it. It's getting hard for them because people got so much knowledge. What's up, Jenkins? Lenora says, sure, so true. These people got so much knowledge now, and God knows. Carl Jung also said what his observation of speaking to so many thousands of people over the years of his career. He is so profound. He was saying that when super empaths heal and really get to know themselves, because see, that's our issue. Our issue is that there is a lack of self love, and a lack of knowing the self. But he says, as we heal and get to know ourselves, he said what happens is that most of super empaths, they are initiated into a life of helping other empaths. And I was like, there was one day when I just came to YouTube, and I was like, I have a need to share my life. Now, back then, I didn't even know Carl Jung. But as I listen to his information now, he's saying to me and thousands of other people, hundreds of thousands probably, this is what happens to us. We end up having a life where we help other people to realize what they've been dealing with, what that's called, and what it looks like, that you can survive beyond this terrible dynamic that you had with this person who is not capable of love. hmm And the reason why we were so attracted to them in the first place, Carl Jung says, because on a subconscious level, we saw their inner child, we saw the pain. We saw them. This is what Carl Jung says. So while I'm listening to Carl Jung, I said, oh my God, I could have jumped out my skin, because back in those days, I had a vision of my husband, and this is what I saw. And Carl Jung says super empaths see them. So what I saw was a young boy in a room. The room was small. There was no furniture in the room, and he was sitting in the corner of the room, where his sat on his behind. His knees were up where he could wrap his arms around his knees, and his face was in pointed downwards to his knees, like his face was down as he wrapped his arms around his knees, and he was backed up into the corner of the room. So when Carl Jung was talking this morning, I said, oh my God, I saw him. I saw his broken inner child, subconscious wise. And the reason why we endure so much pain from them, because we're steadily trying to reach that boy or that inner child that's in them that's broken. They are the way that they are. It is not their fault. However, you cannot trade yourself for them, because they're going to put you in a corner, in a room by yourself. You going to be in there. And they use your energy to live through, because they cannot come out of that room. It was so crazy. I would like to invite you to a Be More for a weekend if you're interested. Accepting accountability. What is Be More? Thank you for the floating hearts. Thank you so much. I don't know what that is. I can't tell you if I'm interested because I don't know what that is. But yeah, it is just deep. Carl Jung has set my soul on fire this morning, not because he taught me anything that I didn't know, other than terminology, but everything that Carl Jung speaks on is my life. Everything. It's very profound. And I told, who did I tell this morning? Who was I talking to? I think it was Monet. I told her, do you know what it feels like to listen to one of the most profound, prolific teachers of narcissistic abuse, and he has so much information on personalities and personality disorders and empaths, to listen to him um, understand the psyche of empaths and narcissists, and to see myself in everything that he says. Like, I've already lived that. Um, it is said that many women for a lifetime will never know a true sense of accountability. I don't know who said that. Who quoted that? We're not talking about that. You're on the wrong channel. You need to be on the channel with people who are talking about relationships on a shallow level. That's what I tell Bruce all the time. He can't keep up with me. He's always on panels on TikToks, and they're talking about relationships. This is not that. This is big dog school. I'm talking about Carl Jung. You understand what I mean? I'm not talking about the people on the internet who are talking about men and women in relationship. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, this is class. This is a life class, baby. We giving doctorates over here. Not literally, but life doctorates, okay? This is a life class. This is not that. This is not that at all. That's how I started off years ago, having conversations like that. Well, what's wrong with my marriage? Well, why do the, and this and men do this and women do that? No, this is not that at all. Wrong page, okay? Wrong page. We're not talking about women and accountability. Accountability. We're not doing that. And this is not the man. Don't come over here if you from the manosphere. Don't come over here with that. Don't come over here with that, because that's little cheering stuff. We don't do little cheering over here. We are grown. We don't do you on the wrong page, honey. You are on the wrong. I bet you if you go to Carl Jung and say, if you to go went to Carl Jung and say women want to accept, because it's been said that women want to accept accountability, he gonna laugh in your face. He's gonna laugh in your face. That's why me and Bruce McPhail can't click. He invited me to a panel on TikTok. I said I will come and take over your panel. And those beta men gonna get mad at me. They gonna get mad, okay? Because I can't. So no, that would be abuse. If I come to a panel of people talking about men and women relationships on a shadow level, that's not right. I don't belong in those spaces, darling. Just hate to tell you that. Don't belong in those spaces. Mm. I love you too. I don't belong in those spaces. That is not the space for me. Okay? Get on out of here from that manosphere talking about women don't take accountability. Women being accountable. The hell? The manosphere on the manosphere is on YouTube making that YouTube money, They never made money like that before. Or they're trading, because y'all know they be trading in these groups, which is a good thing. All black people making good money is good. But when I'm saying this ain't that, baby. This ain't that. We talking about narcissism. We gonna start talking about warlocks in a minute. I'm doing some research on warlocks. Have y'all heard of warlocks? Do y'all know what warlocks are? Oh God, it is so spiritual. It is so deep. We've been talking about narcissists in the pulpit and in church, but baby, a lot of these preachers are warlocks, and they have their congregations, and they have their whores in their congregation, or the women that sleep with them. It just gets really deep. But anyway, y'all, kisses and hugs. I got to go back to work. I just want to share that with y'all, and I'll see y'all soon. Okay, I'll see y'all when I get home. Bye, Nikki Boo. Bye, Green, Lenora. I'll see all of y'all later. We're gonna be talking about them warlocks, honey, and what they do. But Cheryl Grabowski is so happy because Carl Young, that man done set my soul on fire. Oh, Nikki, y'all look into Carl Young. Go over there and look and see if you like some of his stuff. You speak of your ex as if he was pure evil. He wasn't. He wasn't pure evil. He was a narcissist, though. He was a damaged person. He did have a broken inner child. He did leave this world in a bad state. He did. It wasn't his fault, though. No disrespect intended, but it seems as if you're pointing a finger outward and less inward. Maybe this is your first time on the live. I don't know. Come back though. I'll be back tonight around 7. See y'all later. Bye.